Hey, what's up people? I hope you guys are doing good. Today, we're gonna talk about some iPhone stuff. I've been using the iPhone 13 Pro for 6 months, and 2 months ago, I decided to upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro Max mid-cycle. Today, we're gonna talk about why I did that, and did I make a mistake? So before we talk about why I switched from the 13 Pro to the 13 Pro Max, let's talk about why I picked up the 13 Pro. In the past, I've always gone for the larger iPhones right off the bat because there were a lot of benefits to those phones over the regular size Pro models, such as better cameras, better battery life, better display, so on and so forth. Whereas the iPhone 13 Pro, I feel like didn't have any of these compromises. It had the same camera as the 13 Pro Max, had a great display, and supposedly Apple fixed the battery life complaints and it had great battery life. So I went for it. Plus, in the past, I've always regretted buying the larger iPhone because I want a more pocketable phone. And I gotta say, this phone is much more pocketable than this. So when I first got the 13 Pro, everything was great. It was exactly as I expected. Beautiful display, has excellent cameras, the battery life was great, and it's compact, exactly what I wanted. A phone that I can easily hold with one hand, type, and it's pocketable. But then the honeymoon period wore off. What I mean by that is after 2 months, I started noticing that my battery life was getting worse and worse every single week. First, it was not lasting me a full day. Then I noticed that it wouldn't even last me till after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's a no-go for me. So I went ahead and picked up a Magsafe battery pack, which they have plenty. They have ones from Apple, then they also have ones from Anker. There's a lot that you can get. And these battery packs, I realized, weren't doing it for me after a while either, because I would either forget the battery pack, forget to charge the battery pack. Plus, I started to think about it. I'm like, well, once I put the battery pack on the 13 Pro, I pretty much have a bulky phone that weighs as much as the Max. So after 6 months of use, this phone will not last me till after 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And yes, I am a power user. I do use my phone a lot. I take it off the charger at about 7 a.m. And if you're wondering about my battery health, it's at 97%. And if you ask me, that's ridiculous for 6 months of use. And I get it, everybody's experience is going to be different. So let me know in the comment section, what has your experience been like with the 13 Pro? Do you have good battery life or are you having the same issue as me? So needless to say, my experience with the 13 Pro was not very good and I needed to do something about it. Then Apple released the green color for the iPhone 13 series and I knew that was a sign because it's green and I knew I had to give Apple my money. So I mean, all jokes aside, yes, I went ahead and picked up the green iPhone 13 Pro Max because of the color, but more importantly, because I wanted the extra battery life. So I grabbed it and I really haven't been disappointed. I mean, the battery life has been great. It easily lasts me through a full day and I don't have any of the complaints that I had with this phone outside of its really large size. And it's a two-handed phone. Nothing wrong with that. I just wish that Apple had more multitasking capabilities such as split screen that really took advantage of the larger display on the Pro Max. So ultimately, yes, I'm an idiot and I upgraded from the iPhone 13 Pro to the 13 Pro Max mid-cycle, but you know what? I'm okay with it because I don't have any regrets. I'm getting all the battery benefits that I thought I was gonna get on this phone and this phone, which is great. Plus I come to realize I really like the big display. Like I like seeing the extra content on it and viewing YouTube videos and stuff on this phone is a better experience than the 13 Pro. My only regret out of all this is the fact that I wasted almost $2,000 on this blue piece of I'm kidding. I love you, Apple. So some of you might be wondering, what am I gonna do for the iPhone 14? Am I gonna go back to the Pro or am I gonna stay with the Pro Max? And honestly, that just depends on the battery life, which brings me to the most important part of this video. Year after year, the features that get the most attention are the display, whether or not it's the brightest display or has the highest resolution, the cameras, how fast the phone can charge, or the processing speeds. But what about the battery tech? And by that, I mean battery tech in specific, because of course we're getting better optimization as the processors get better. The battery tech that we have now, while yes, it is tried and true, if we're being honest, it's kind of old news. And I know that there's new battery tech in the works. I just hope that it makes an appearance in the next year or two, because how cool would it be to have a flagship that actually lasts 2 full days with all of the flagship specs that we've come to love? I think that would be awesome. I mean, what good is having a phone with 18 cameras, the A18 processor, 18 gigabytes of RAM that can charge in 18 minutes with an 18K display if it dies in 18 minutes? So do you agree with me? Do you think that battery tech is what needs to be improved the most, or are you excited to see improvements in the display and camera still? Let me know down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'm gonna go charge my phone.